A disclaimer, the following review contains footage from the Super Sentai franchise as well as music from the Super Sentai franchise. All of the music and the footage all belong to Toei. This is a non-profit video, so it is protected under the fair use law. So please support the official release, if there is one.
装飾のマスクの戦士燃えるスーパー戦隊魂
You would think with the success of the Super Sentai series in the 80s in Japan, they would actually come out with video games that were based on each show on the Famicom, aka the Japanese NES, or any consoles that were released at the time in Japan. Unfortunately, it took Bandai 9 years after the Famicom's release to actually come out with a Super Sentai video game, and that Sentai show was...
Chōjin Sentai Jetman! Let's go,
Oh yeah, when you hear a song from Hironobu Kageyama, aka Mr. DBZ, you know that your anime or your tokusatsu show he sings the theme song to is going to kick ass. Regarded by many Sentai fans as one of the best Sentai shows of the early 90s, Jetman had a very dark tone in their previous Sentais. It had drama and a love triangle with the three main protagonists, and of course, it had the first since Go Ranger to actually have an overweight ranger. The series was a homage to Gatchaman, aka Battle of the Planets, aka G-Force, so it's no surprise there's similarities between these two shows. And so, with a great series like Jetman, will it also have a great game? Let's find out. Released in 1991, the same year as the Sentai series, Chōjin Sentai Jetman the game was published by Angel Time, which was a subsidiary of Bandai, and developed by Natsume. For those of you who don't know, Natsume were the ones that developed games for the Power Ranger series for the Super Nintendo and Game Boy, so this definitely has some origins to the Power Ranger development thing. And so, with that little history out of the way, let's pop in our NES, the Famicom, and play our first Sentai console game in history. When you open the game, you get this awesome Firebird moving fast across the screen and a 8-bit rendition of Hironobu Kageyama's Jetman theme song, as well as a really awesome cutscene. Let's give a listen. Now that was epic. Now the gameplay is your typical side-scrolling action game. You pick your levels, kind of like the Mega Man series, pick one of the Jetmen, and you're on your merry way. Right now I picked Guy, the Black Condor, which is one of my favorite characters in the series. He's such a badass, I'll tell you that for sure. Cocky? Yes, but very, very badass. Now the storyline of this game is pretty much like the Sentai series. Defeat the Yaram army. At the end of each level you get greeted by a level boss waiting for you to do battle via mecha. Right now I'm going to do battle with the final boss, the Destruction Beast Shimimaru. But I'm not going to do that right now, I'm just going to leave that at the end of the review. The health bar, depending on the Jetman, is different than the other. Yellow Owl has 7 bars, Red Hawk and Black Condor have 8 bars, while Blue Swallow and White Swan have 6 bars. Proving once again, Bandai, you sexists. If you lose during battle, you get to choose other Jetmen, but keep in mind that if you lose all of your Jetmen, it's game over and you'll have to start all over again. But thankfully you can use the password system to pick up from where you left off. Now the weapons you use depends on the Jetman. Yellow Owl uses the Wing Gun Turrets, Red Hawk and Black Condor uses the Bringer Swords, while Blue Swallow and White Swan uses the Bird Blasters. You can also get Power Hearts, yes, Power Hearts as I like to call them, to re-energize your health bar. You can also pick up some power emblems to destroy your enemies with ease. Now the mecha battles between the Great Icarus and the monsters are really the awesome gems of this game. It sort of plays like Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. You really have to time your punches and power attacks to defeat the monster, otherwise you're screwed. But if you do it just right, you get a really awesome finishers. Actually 2. The Bird Macer and the Great Beam. When you finish all the stages, you get a final stage as seen by this really awesome cutscene. It looks like the Death Star if you ask me. Final verdict, if you're a big fan of the Sentai series, you're going to love Chōjin Sentai Jetman, the game for the Famicom. However, there are some downsides. This game is just too short. I don't even know why they put the password system in here since the game isn't really that long. And you can pretty much beat this game in about a day. Also, the enemies are not really that much of a challenge, even in normal mode, but they still crack quite a punch though. And even though the game is in Japanese, the texts are all in English, so there's not really that much of a problem translation wise. So if you're a big Famicom collector, I recommend you pick this up for your library. If you can't get it, just download the ROM and load it to your emulator. This game is just awesome fun with a lot of replay value. So to end my review, here's the final boss battle.
ー